had a pretty rough week at work last week, which is the reason that this video is kind of behind schedule. And I might be behind schedule for a little bit just as I try to figure out my footing again. But that aside, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I did in order to get through that week and really cope with everything that was going on, because I think everybody can relate to having a rough week, regardless of whether you're working or you're in school or, whatever stage of life you're in. Everybody has, weeks that are rough. There were some things that I did specifically within last week that I feel like really helped me get through it, and also after the fact helped me recharge my battery. And so, yeah, let's dive right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is meditation. And I used to not really believe in meditation because my brain is super loud, and I was like, there's no way that I can quiet this down in any way. But I found out that meditation isn't about shutting up your brain and making everything quiet, but it's really just about like observing the thoughts and just letting the thoughts flow without you really intervening or doing anything about it. And so once I figured that out, I was like, damn, meditation is actually really helpful, because sometimes my brain, a lot of times actually, my brain is really loud. And so taking the time to just sit and be present in my body and really focus on my breathing and just kind of letting the thoughts flow without any restriction, any judgment, any of that. And I think it takes a little bit of getting used to. So if you're in crisis mode right now and you're like, I need to learn something right now, meditation might not be the first step, just because it might take you a few tries to like get in the zone and like understand how it feels and like what it can do for you. And being in crisis mode might not be the best place to figure that out. But if you have done meditation before and you're familiar with the concepts of meditation, I think meditating when you're stressed can be really, really beneficial. I, for one, was just really overwhelmed with the amount of things I had to do. And so I took some time to just listen to a meditation. I didn't necessarily get through the whole thing because my thoughts, again, were just really, really loud. So even meditation couldn't tame everything that was going on. But it definitely helped me to like check in with my body and check in with just like how I'm feeling, because not everything that your brain is telling you is true, which is a weird thing to say, but sometimes like my brain just kind of like runs full speed at something, and I'm just like, my body isn't necessarily attached to that, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, like just checking in with my body and being present and kind of grounding myself in my own body was really helpful to kind of ground the thoughts and be like, okay, like my brain is going at like supersonic speed, but my body is here, it is present, and this is where I am. So, yeah, again, if you're in crisis mode right now, meditation might not be the first thing you try, because it could be frustrating when you're trying to do meditation and it doesn't work, or it's not going the way that you intended, or you're just like struggling to figure it out. But if you have done meditation in the past, if you do have an active practice, then I definitely recommend doing meditation when you're stressed or overwhelmed. Another thing I did that was really helpful was to talk to people about what I was going through. And not necessarily, I did talk to like the people at my work as well, but I leaned most on the people that were not at work, like my friends and my family. So, talking to them about just how overwhelmed I was and how I'm struggling and stuff like that was a good way for me to kind of like let off steam and vent a little bit without affecting my work environment. And so, if you're going through something or you're in crisis mode, I definitely recommend that you talk to someone about it. Talk to someone that you trust. Last week, talking to one of my best friends was really, really helpful, because she took some time to like listen to my situation and encourage me through what I was going through. But also she was like, hey, like if you just need me to like talk about something random to get your mind off of work, like I can do that for you as well. And so it was a great balance of like having someone to vent to, someone that I can trust to just be let off steam a little bit, and also have someone that I can just talk about nothing in the best way, you know? So if you're like going through a rough week, make sure you don't try to tough it through on your own. Try to talk to someone that you trust and love. And the final thing I want to talk about is how I regenerated my energy after the rough week, because, you know, sometimes when you're going through a rough week, like you really don't have the mental bandwidth to like even recharge or like think about recharging, because like you just have to get through it. And so, you know, that was kind of the mode I was in this past week, was just like get through it. It doesn't really matter the state that I'm in. Like I just had to get through it. And so this past weekend, after that week was over, I actually just took myself on a solo date and did whatever I wanted to do. And I think the activity itself can be different from person to person, because what energizes you, what gives you energy is different. But for me personally, going on a solo date and just, you know, exploring the city, wandering the streets and shops by myself, and just taking some time to journal and go to a cafe, like these things are what energizes me. So just taking the time to really allow yourself to fully indulge in whatever you need to recharge is, I think, really important, especially after a rough week. And I know after a rough week, all you probably want to do is like just sleep forever and do nothing, or like binge eat or something like that. But try to think of something that's not harmful to you. Try to think of something that's positive, or I don't want to use the word productive because, you know, it is productive, but it's not necessarily productive in the stereotypical sense. So I'm hesitant to use that word, but try to think of something or pick something that has like positive energy and gives you that like push in the positive direction, whatever that may be. So yeah, if you're going through a rough week, I feel you. You are seen. You got this. And yeah, I'm still kind of recovering from the rough week. So I hope you will be patient with me as I figure out how to schedule everything, get back on track with this challenge and everything. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.